Hey everybody, Ross Robinson here, and today I'm bringing you a video on some tips and tricks on wrapping your snowmobile, moto, UTV, whatever it may be with a graphics kit. Now, these tips and tricks are to help you apply your graphics, the really thick vinyl graphics that go on these machines that are pre-cut. These are some tips and tricks on helping you install them properly so you get a nice finish and you're not frustrated about it. Before I dive into it, the number one thing is don't be super particular about it. Remember, you as the installer know all the flaws, right? You know if it's off a little bit here or there, but when you step back 15 feet, nobody else can see them. So don't hold yourself too accountable for it and get all uptight and don't try to be a perfectionist about it because it's really hard to get it perfect. Just do your best and it'll turn out great. The wraps are all amazing, and here's some info. So, two of the biggest things that I'm going to start with when I go to wrap this thing is, first, I need heat. I just use a torch, and a lot of people are scared of the torch, but it's not really something to be scared of. You just have to be a little bit careful of it. It applies way quicker heat than a heat gun, and you don't have to turn it on and off and on and off to get your heat. It's just instant heat, right? So that's why I love the torch, and if you're just careful with it and practice a little bit, you shouldn't really burn a hole in your wrap. Also, it works amazing for removing graphics, and I'm going to cover that next. The next thing that I prefer to use if I have it is Rapid Tack product. So this is the Rapid Tack cleaner. You can see it's even from Arctic FX right there, and it works super well. This eliminates wax, all the stuff, gets it off so your graphics have something perfect to adhesive to. So that's a really important part when you're wrapping your rig, whether it be a bike, sled, or UTV. So, and if I do not have access to something like this, which you can get off Amazon, you can get it through Arctic FX when you order your wrap. The link for this Rapid Tack products are going to be in the description of the video. So you can get this, or if I don't have access to that, I'll use something like brake cleaner or something that does not leave any residue at all that cleans really well. Luckily for us, the guys over at Arctic FX use super high quality vinyl that is super sticky and really amazing. So even if your surface isn't perfectly clean, your vinyl will stick really well. But it's always best to do a good job and a good application on it. So let's get started. Alright, so first part that I'm attacking here when I'm removing all my existing graphics or stock graphics from this razor is just kind of how to peel these off properly. So this is a huge thing, and it can make your life really easy if you do it properly, or make it really hard if you don't do it properly. So the first thing is heat, obviously. So I'm just going to take my torch and evenly heat this whole kind of graphic back here. And I can actually start to see the graphic. It'll ridge up a little bit, and you can see it accepting the heat. And you don't want to go too hard, but you can just kind of tell and feel it out as you heat it. So you're just going to get a nice even heat, and I can see it starts to kind of ridge up and bubble up, probably giving it more heat than it needs. Then I just want to get a piece started. And then, instead of pulling back towards myself or directly off it, I want to kind of pull long ways, and that will stretch it. So instead of pulling like this, which works when you have good heat, it'll leave more of a residue than when you actually pull away like that. See, I almost got it too hot. So the good thing is it's nice and warm still. And then I can just pull away, and you can pull really big chunks off like that, and it'll break usually when you run out of heat or you come to a place where the sticker changes. So here it's going to break a bunch and be kind of a pain, since this is where it got scratched up and ripped up. But you can see super good, not a lot of residue left. And then the next step is I'm just going to spray some cleaner on it. Just like that, very little residue is kind of left on there. I'll probably hit it one more time before I actually apply the graphic, and then we'll be good to go. So I'm gonna start busting out and pulling the rest of these graphics, and then we'll get to wrapping. The very first piece that we're gonna work on is just this, it's gonna say 1000 right here, left hand side, kind of right near the headlight, which is slightly broken, but that's fine, and a little scratched up, so I'm gonna get that covered up right away. So first thing I do when we start the application process of these graphics is I want to clean it, and then I install everything dry. I don't do the wet procedure. I think it's just way more work, and the stickers, you can peel them and re-stick them pretty easily. So, and then I also don't use a ton of heat right in the beginning. I only use heat if I need it on tricky pieces, and we'll go over that in a second. So we're gonna clean this bad boy and get some stuff going. So one important thing to really know here, and it goes for all of the Arctic FX graphics, is everything has built-in, I don't know what you call them, gaps. So every sticker will have a 1/8 inch, 16th inch gap to the next sticker. And it's all kind of meant to fit with little gaps everywhere. So the stickers all have their own place, and you're not totally worried about you having these edges line up. And that kind of gives the sticker room to stretch a little bit and fit in. So it gives you this buffer zone. So don't worry too much, especially when you begin, about getting the stickers to touch each other. There should actually be a little gap in there. So I just gap it kind of off every corner of the bodywork. So I have just little gaps here and there. And this is a super easy one to start on. Lines up just like that. And we're already in business. So I want to highlight a piece that's kind of tricky here. Not this piece in particular, but there's lots of pieces like this in kits like this. So you can see it has this split in it right here. This piece is kind of hard to see because it's black, but what I've done is I've kind of established my top two corners, and I have a very kind of, I can get that pretty close to where I think I'm gonna want it. And you know, with a piece like this, I don't put a lot of pressure and stick it very aggressively in the beginning. So I just kind of just set it where I think I'm gonna want it and kind of establish those lines in the top two corners. But then something to know here is anywhere where the wrap is really thin, the thinner the wrap is, the easier it is to kind of manipulate it left or right and kind of move it back and forth. So I always try to find the thin spots, and I'll have that, like right here, this thin spot, I can move that back and forth and adjust the angle of this whole piece up here so this piece down here fits as well. So I'm just gonna kind of go after that and show you guys what I'm talking about here. So here's that angle piece right here. So I can peel up and kind of follow the bodywork down to here, and then this can also be manipulated slightly back and forth this way so it lines up with the bodywork here. Gap on the bottom. Another nice thing about thin parts of the wrap is they're pretty stretchy, so you can actually get some stretch out of it and pull it down a little bit to kind of fill where you'd like to fill. That's quite a bit better, actually. You can't really see down there, but so I've just stretched it so the bottom fits nicely, and then the top as well, right into where I want it. Push those wrinkles out, and now the bottom's where I like it, the middle is where I like it, and now if I want to adjust the top at all, I can. Just for the sake, I'll move it a little bit. So up here, since I didn't really put any pressure on it, it peels really easily back off, and then I can adjust to the bodywork a little bit better. I'm looking at this corner. I don't want that to overlap into that indent very much. So just kind of put that in there, got it all lined up, and just like that. So that's how I kind of like to use thin spots of the wrap to manipulate how it fits sideways. So anywhere where it's thin, I kind of use that to adjust things off of. And then always when I kind of tack the wrap or just set it and kind of get it in place, I always want to use these corners. Or also what works nice is if you have a body line, something like this door right here is a very distinct, long, straight line, and I can just basically set that wrap a 1/16 of an inch off that line all the way down and then work down from there. So that's kind of what I got. Alright guys, so thanks for watching my tips and tricks on installing graphics, whether it be on a snowmobile, moto, UTV, any of the things where you have those really heavy pre-cut graphics. Those tips and tricks will work. The heavy graphics act a little bit differently than the lightweight vinyl that you see like guys doing entire cars in and stuff like that. So there's some special tips and tricks for that. And I hope some of those helped you with, installing, removing previous graphics that were on there, all that kind of stuff. So if you have any more questions, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll try to answer them, or I'll make a follow-up video in the future that kind of helps answer some more questions about wrapping. And the biggest thing is, this is the #1 thing, is I hope you weren't too particular about it, because you step away and it always looks great. So thanks again for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. I'm coming at you with videos all the time. We'll see you later.